Find out, ladies and gentlemen, because here we go with game number 1 of these March Nova Cup Grand Finals is about to begin. Let's go!
I would at least hope to see this not be the clean victory they've had for their 3 series so far. And I think, yeah, you know, the way Tjuvis and Adam's playing so far, they've definitely got what it takes to potentially take this finals.
Yeah, for sure. Now we have Drachir and Lucy playing pretty standard masterminds there. Greed for Drachir, Cartel for Lucy, Tjuvis and Adams. They always take a little bit longer with their choices. Maybe they're having a detailed look at the Legion spells and thinking, okay, well, there's Protector, so maybe I want to lock in Azeria or something like that. Tjuvis goes with a cash out though, and Adams Chaos. So this is the pairing that we saw them just win game number 2 against Abrasiat with.
Both teams saving their fiestas for later in the series. Yeah, the cash out chaos combo certainly worked for them last game. So see what they pull out here. Dam's straight into slapping down those atoms. He knows where he wants to play.
Drachir, by the way, with the Casket Angler opener. Very nice and aggressive build there. He'll be able to press the worker button a good few times before wave 3 or 4 comes around. Kind of... Actually, I can see it. I think Casket's Seedling is insanely strong, but with that Angler there, he just wants some kind of scaling as well. Like, Casket Seedling, fantastic for the first 5 waves, does fall off a little bit after that.
Yeah, I mean, Angler Casket, Angler Flower, fairly similar in the way that you can just push quite hard and have that Angler scaling.
Yep.
Really nice opens.
Now we see all... well... not all 4, actually, because Tjuvis is trying hard straight out of the gate, skipping that wave 1 king up, meaning that Lucy has a little bit more pressure than the other players to deal with. Tjuvis might be a little bit disappointed to see that Lucy opened with Nightmare. Definitely not a build that can be punished on wave 2. He does go straight to 6 workers, though. And he skips. Okay, so Lucy unable to be pressured on 2, rather than just go for that pre-income play with a snail or something, he says, no, I'm going to go 6 workers and play hyper-aggressive here. He's going to go for maybe like a Dino on 3, but Drachir does read the play.
He's sending that snail.
He goes for the snail. Tjuvis can afford a second Bone Warrior. He doesn't want to place it, though. This is going to be a pretty big leak in lane number 3.
Yeah, with even split as well, this is looking a little bit dangerous now.
Yeah, pretty dicey. Adams, of course, is going to be able to fully cover with those atoms. Very good units for covering leaks. But this is going to be a bit of a leak. Does he get one more? He does. Okay, but that's a 75%er there for Tjuvis. Maybe the second Bone Warrior could have let him kill another 1 or 2 creeps, but it wouldn't have been a hold. And he has got Dino Mythian. There it is. The Dino pre-income on 3. Lucy has 120 gold. She goes for the Shroom. And the Seedling is actually really clutch here. What the Seedling does on wave 3 is Nightmare has a really annoying threshold on wave 3 where the first 2 attacks leave the units with like 5 HP or something like this. But when you have a Seedling there doing tiny AoE damage against the wave, the Nightmare can now 2-shot the creeps. And this should just be, well... I was going to say easy hold, but the Dino is still very hard for Lucy to fight through.
Yeah, well, this is the problem. Lowering that threshold on the rest of the wave doesn't mean squat. You can't get through the Dino.
But she does kill the Dino.
Now we're seeing it. Yeah, now we're seeing it come into play.
And the Nightmare's just speedrunning the rest of the wave, it seems. That Shroom's still alive, by the way. It was able to tank the Dino and enough hoppers that this is just a full hold for FC Lucy. Clap, 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 clap.
Calculated.
And now 7 workers. Go ahead.
That was a great hold. That was beautiful to see.
It surely was. And we see Adams actually trying a Hermit on 4 into Drachir's Seedling Casket build. I mean, I don't really see a world where this is going to work.
I don't know if he ever would have just held a Dino.
Yeah, I think with the high split it would hold the Dino. But let's see. 100 Mythium Send. Can the Hermit heal outpower the Seedling AoE? In fact, both Seedlings die. But this is the main thing. Can the Hermit out-heal the Casket damage so that it doesn't 2-shot the wave? It looks like yes. Is it going to be enough? It will be a leak. Not a massive one, though. 60% there for Drachir. The Hermit's still doing work. Meanwhile, though, Tjuvis, we were looking at the wrong lane. 83% there for Tjuvis against the Dino. Wow. Okay, so the income send actually got more work done than the Hermit send.
Yeah, that's not quite the start that Tjuvis wanted here, I don't think.
No, on the back foot already, it seems. And Jules, reading the game, is giving 60% win chance for the side of Drachir and Lucy, already on wave 5.
Yeah, they've got the underdog buff coming in here.
Surely. Surely this month.
And Drach already on 8 workers. He's loving life.
8 workers with a bounty hunter build. Yeah, you don't often see angler builds playing this aggressively, but after holding that 100 send, or small leaking that 100 send, he's doing just fine, especially with the amount of damage that he just dealt to Tjuvis' lane. Lucy receives a dino of her own here on wave 5, but that shouldn't be presenting too much of a problem for her. Yeah, easy hold there. And I just realised I had my scoreboard reversed, so forgive me guys, I will switch that around wave 6. Professional caster, by the way.
So
now
we do have a dino coming into Drach. At present, he has no damage for this wave.
Yeah, he's not looking fantastic this wave. He's got options there with the Groll and the Pilgrim, but it's going to have to be perfectly positioned. He goes for a Growl in the split. Okay, let's see. So the Growl will pull the Dino. I am very worried about his complete lack of damage, though.
Yeah, I mean, Growl your only impact, getting stuck on the Dino. Not that it's huge DPS anyway. I think we're going to see half the wave go through this angler right now.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a bit of a leak. Does he even kill this one Rocco? He doesn't. Oh. That's an 88% leak versus a single Dino Drachir. Oh no!
Yeah, that is painful. I suppose, you know, this was always going to be his weakest wave with this role. Obviously, without being able to get that Berserker on the board. He is very, very safe next. He's pushed one worker so far. Will we see him push again, or will we see him try and hold some gold to get that KP out for 8?
Oh lordy, I've just seen Lucy's Mythium. 240 Mythium pre-income. She spends it all on brutes. This is a lot of friends they're sending over to Tjuvis and Adams. Clearly they're in a very sociable mood. Let's see what's going to happen here. These sends are absolutely enormous. Adams made the Priestess last wave, which worked for him there. I don't think it's going to be amazing on wave 7 against 4 brutes, though.
Yeah, well, Tjuvis knows it's coming. He's got a couple of cats. He's got a boosted vet.
Let's see
how many friends he's able to take down.
The sends are just absolutely enormous. 200 for Tjuvis, 280 for Adams. Holy moly, I think we're about to see some leaks here on wave 7. Yeah, and Adams, I mean, he's doing better than I expected, to be honest. He does have the power of value on his side, of course. And Tjuvis, with that boosted veteran, he's doing very well as well. 81% for Adams. Could have been much worse if we're honest. And 53% for Tjuvis likewise. So, even though these sends were absolutely enormous, there's 18 creeps reaching the king. Sure, they're going to take a bunch of king damage, but this could have been way worse here.
Yeah, very respectable hold for Tjuvis there, but obviously with the combined leaks, getting their king molested a little bit here, not what they want to see. The real problem, obviously, is Drach and Lucy getting income fed. A couple of waves on the trot there, able to just fully push to 12 and 13 workers right now.
Yeah. Now, of course, Tjuvis and Adams have a bit of a value lead, but they're just way behind in workers. They're falling behind in income as well. And to add insult to injury, they're even behind in Mythium as well. So, for every metric that matters, Drachir and Lucy are leading the show.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way so far.
And that's before Drachir's Kingpin power spike kicks in, by the way. He's got 2 of those bad boys charging their stacks right now.
Yeah, now Lucy is cartel, so you'd expect her income to be up there right now. But yeah, she's doing what you want to be doing here, pushing hard,
Yep.
getting that advantage, trying to stay ahead, or you know, even coming into the mid game.
And 61% HP remaining on the side of the Almighty Slackers is not where you want to be. They are definitely within one-shot range if Drachir and Lucy want to go for the old 1-2 punch. Alright, Drachir does now get his first Kingpin online. We see his value go through the roof. He's on 1134 now. Obviously 99 of that value is coming from the Kingpin mana. And Lucy on fire here, wave 9. Only a 25 gold shutdown, but clearly showing how far ahead she is of the rest of the players.
Yeah, for now, again, a little bit of a cartel spike in there, but certainly set up for success so far.
I mean, just look at Tjuvis's board. He has Deathcap, Necromarters, Veterans, Bone Crushers, and there's a little wave called number 10 coming up right around the corner. And I think Tjuvis might be in a little bit of trouble there. Adams is looking a bit better with his Daphne, with his Kingpin, with his Consort, but the Sens are massive.
Yeah, I mean, if Tjuvis had been watching enough Toho videos, he'd know how many boosted vets he needs to clear 10. This isn't it.
Is 1 not the answer?
No, no, unfortunately not.
Unlucky.
He's got plenty of tank value, but yeah, where's the damage?
Now, Tjuvis and Adams, they didn't spend their Mythium here. Hopefully they at least spend all of their gold. It looks like they do. Adams has 140. Please spend your gold, Adams. Okay, he goes for an APS on the Kingpin. I mean, he doesn't really have many other options.
Here, but yeah,
he is
but you'd like to
one-shotting
see something
the
tanking
brutes
for that Kingpin before it can actually put any of that attack speed to
And
use.
the boss is losing HP quickly, but now the melee units are down. That is about all the damage he's going to do. That's a big leak there for Adams. And Tjuvis with the boosted veteran, not enough to break through that Ghost Knight. 100%, that's a home run there for Tjuvis on 10. Is this enough to just straight up end the game here?
If it isn't, it's putting them into a very, very dangerous position.
Wow. 5%, 3%, 1%, game!
Oh, so close.
Whoa! Underdogs no longer. Drachir and FC Lucy clapping the almighty Slackers here in game number 1.
And we're seeing why they've had such a clean run so far. I mean, clean is the only word to describe the play there. It was other than a tiny hiccup on 4 that couldn't really be handled any better.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big send.
He cleared it very, very nicely. All those, 60% leak, but all those creeps very low HP.
Yep.
Very easily cleared up by Lucy. Lucy's hold for the 80 on 3 just really set them up to power ahead for the next few waves.
Yeah. Tjuvis, though, like, talking about Drachir's wave 4, Tjuvis had a little bit of an accident there himself, but 83% leak against pure income sends. He even had more value than Drachir, by the way. Like, this was just a really bad trade for Tjuvis. He leaked more to an income send than Drachir did to the full send, and he just never really was able to recover. Like, wave 6 was nice, the 88% leak there for Drachir, but they were both saving, right? So, sure, the leak is bad, it gives them a bit of gold, but Lucy holds, she full covers, they take no king damage, and it's just more time for these mammoth sends on 7. 200 for Tjuvis, 280 for Adams. They did quite well, but it wasn't enough.
No, absolutely. I think we're seeing the power of the underdogs.
And it was just the
shining
classic
through that game.
Absolutely, and it was just the classic 1-2 punch, right? They got 40% king damage done on 7, and then they just went straight with wave 10 with another mammoth send, and they just straight up end the game there. Like, it was close, they nearly survived. But even if they had survived, they're just so far behind at this point. I think the underdogs controlled this game extremely well.
Definitely. And pay attention, chat. Those wave 7 sends, 200 and 280. Why send ogres when you can send friends? The power of friendship really put the pressure on there. That was a lot of brutes we got seen. We saw.
We got sawn. Yes, we got to see. We got to see in a large number.
I've seen it with my own eyes.
Alright, the next lobby is now open. Let's see if the almighty Slackers can bring this one back. They did not seem to be the same team they were in the semi-finals. It felt a little bit outclassed here by the Underdogs in game number 1.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see some Fiesta now. I'm hoping for it, but I'm also expecting it. I think, Drachir and Lucy, they've built up a little buffer. They've got a win in their sleeve, in their pocket right now. I know Lucy likes to switch it up between some very polar opposite playstyles with Castle and Fiesta, so she could be playing anything here.
Definitely.
Tjuvis may go back to his roots from the game 1 easy victory in their previous series.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see him go back on Fiesta and see if he can pull off that early game powerhouse that did so well against King Dans and Widdowson. Anyway, we're about to find out because game number 2 of your grand finals has just begun.
Okay, no one insta-locking a Mastermind. We're finding out, yeah, we've got one Fiesta on Tjuvis. And we have Greed Cartel for Drach and Lucy staying very stable still here.
Again, not having a traditional Fiesta opener really for Tjuvis.
This is the thing though. Tjuvis, obviously we saw in game 1 of the previous series, but Tjuvis, I think, one of the Fiesta players who does not need does not need an obvious Fiesta start to do
make
well
it work,
with the playstyle.
100%. And Adams goes for that lock-in, so he does seem to favour lock-in with Fiesta. That was how they played it in the previous series as well. And he locked in the Priestess. I have to say that's because there's Protector available as a spell. Again, Azeria, obviously a unit that Adams is very good with, but also a perfect match for that Protector spell on wave 11. It's just an insane combo.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to know the thoughts behind the exact thoughts behind the lock-in Fiesta combo. They've done it two series in a row. They didn't play that in their games yesterday, right?
I don't think so. I think it must be something to do. Maybe they're not pairing Masterminds. Maybe he's just pairing, like, he sees the Protector and he wants the Priestess. It might be something like that.
Yeah.
Tjuvis gets the Snail, so Drachir did actually read the Fiesta, but Tjuvis is Green Devil. He's gone for one of those non-traditional Fiesta openers, and he's rewarded for it here. Holding against the Snail Send, now Drachir's maybe thinking, okay, well maybe he's not playing Fiesta. And I wonder if Drachir actually goes for a second Snail.
Well, I mean, this is where the mind games come in, Game 1, he sent that after Income Snail to Tjuvis, and it did wonders with the Crusher 6-worker push, so yeah, maybe he's baited into doing the same again here, and giving Tjuvis a very tasty Fiesta.
Well, let's see. He has that 20 Mythium. He does not have the Snail Shift clicked, at least. There's some absolutely incredible copy pastas in the chat, by the way. Alright, everybody is saving their Mythium. There will be no Wave 2 Snail coming out from Drachir. Tjuvis, who did not add a Tier 1, absolutely fine with that, but again, he isn't getting his Fiesta value yet. Let's see how he plays this one. I assume he goes 6 workers. He does.
Interesting to see Drach opening straight with the Bounty Hunter. I know your feelings about going Bounty Hunter and not sticking with an Angler for a couple of waves, especially with the patented Pennywise Angler Poly open.
I mean, that is just one of the best openers in the whole of Legion TD2. I can't imagine why he wouldn't go with that. Now, we do see Drachir and Lucy go for a double Dragon Turtle Send here on wave 3. Tjuvis, are you going to add anything? If not, you're going to leak pretty badly. Adams, he has the Priestess. He needs to add something as well, I fear. Otherwise, this could be a happy little accident on wave 3 for Tjuvis and Adams. Okay, Adams is adding a split at least. Tjuvis adds nothing, though. Okay.
Well, we'll see. He didn't go with the full send, so it is just that DT.
Yeah, but it just tanks so well against the Green Devil for such a long time.
Surely does, fam.
Adams, are you going to get this heal off, or does the Priestess go down? He heals. Okay, that should be a hold now for Adams. And it is. Okay, so he holds, and Tjuvis leaking 56% there against the Dragon Turtle. I think he's fine with that. He has 7 workers. That is Fiesta value. There's another Dragon Turtle coming out from Drachir on wave 4, and from Lucy, by the way.
We got a lot of Mythium
Oh,
saved up. Tjuvis and Adams right now. There's a mole coming out
okay.
into Lucy.
So Lucy, she has the Pyro. What does she pair with that on wave 4? A Yuzora, of course. I mean, the Mole does very, very well at reducing the damage from both the Pyro and the Yuzora, but the Yuzora is just tanking forever on wave 4. Alright, Drachir has 100 Mythium to deal with, but he has 425 value. I think he should just be fine. He's even somehow ignoring the Dino with his Devilfish. That's an interesting one. And
Very
Lucy against the Mole, I mean, she's just doing fine. I guess she leaks the Mole, but only the Mole? Tjuvis leaks 54 to income. Okay, she leaks a couple of chickens as well, but she's fine with that against 140 send. And as expected, Drachir, through the power of value, he does hold that send from Adams.
Yeah, and he's easily gathering a couple more stacks there in the mid for his bounty.
Yeah, those two chickens that slip through Lucy's lane, feeding the bounty hunter. And they even get a little tiny tad of king damage there on wave 4. The Mole getting one slap off on the king before it goes down.
Yeah, you've got to take those. You've got to tickle the king when you can, you know. They'd have loved to see a bit more than that. That was a huge investment to save up that Mythium for you know, not a lot of damage.
Yeah, and it's really showing now. Tjuvis' power score is lagging behind the rest of the pack. Drachir going for more income here, so his income is actually 50% higher than Tjuvis's, which is kind of not the position you really want to find yourself in. Tjuvis,
absolutely not.
Oh, okay, he did kill the Scorpion on 5, but not much else. That's a 78% leak there, just to 3 snails. Sure, he's getting Fiesta value, but is he leaking a bit too much, I wonder? Alright, 9 workers on Tjuvis, 100 Mythium stored up, 120 for Adams, who is receiving a double turtle here, but should be just fine with the Devilfish tanking. And a nice split there for him as well. Adams, I expect to be just fine here on wave 6. And Tjuvis, who is receiving no send and has the Tantrum Tailraiser, he's going to be just fine as well. Now, when do the Almighty Slackers want to send their Mythium? Maybe they were thinking about wave 7 or 8, but Drachir and Lucy both have potential answers for that. Drachir, of course, can get his Kingpin online for wave 8, and Lucy has just shown the Disciple as well, which is pretty good on wave 8. There's the hold from Adams, and Tjuvis and Adams, they do save their Mythium. So, Drachir and Lucy may be starting to fall into the income resend trap, although having said that, how much of a trap is it if Tjuvis leaks half the wave here on 7 against a Lizard army?
Well, I mean, depending how big that leak is, he may be happy to leak a little bit to prolong the wave, especially if they're going to be sending on 8. Adams should be perfectly fine here.
Yeah, Adams is going to hold. Tjuvis, okay, there is a king up instead of a snail, so is the Lizard army going to give him a juicy fiesta or not? We're about to find out. And they have a really scary amount of Mythium now, 200 on both Tjuvis and Adams. Let's see when they decide to pull the trigger. Now, it is an easy hold, actually, for Tjuvis. And it's a Mimic on 8. Okay, that's an interesting one. Let's see if that pays off. I'm kind of worried that this Mimic is just going to get absolutely speed run down by the Disciples on FC Lucy's board.
Yeah, that looks like a distinct possibility.
How many tanks can Tjuvis afford to send with that Mimic to keep it alive? Oh! This is something you don't see very often. A 4 eyes on wave 8 into Drachir. I guess he's planning for the Kingpin? But Drachir, oh, he is selling for it. He sells an Aqua, he sells a Poly, he does get that Kingpin online, but the 4 eyes should be able to chew through that pretty quickly.
It'll chew through the lioness, the alpha male. Sorry, it'll chew through the kingpin. But how much of the wave is going to get deleted before that happens?
Most of it, I would imagine. The Four Eyes is wasting its first attacks on the Devilfish at least, so those big beefy alpha male and kingpin do get a bunch of damage done before they get focused. And you said how many wave creeps? The answer is damn near all of them. In fact, the Fire Elemental is just killing everything. So the Four Eyes gets through, but it's on low HP. And meanwhile, Lucy full holding against the 240 send there.
Yeah, and this looks like a pretty easy cover as well.
Yeah, this is looking rough for Tjuvis and Adams. They went for a big play. It absolutely did not pay off here on Wave 8.
Yeah, things looking a bit ropey here. And thus far, we don't exactly have the best answer to wave number 10 on Tjuvis either.
Yeah.
The only player who hasn't yet shown any kind of answer for it.
Yeah,
We do
Adams.
have a lot of gold being floated by Tjuvis right now.
I guess that.
So he is perhaps pulling out a full... No, there is an antler being placed, okay.
Alright, so he goes for the antler there, but still, he's not looking fantastic on the 10th wave. Adams at least has answers with his Berserker, so maybe he gets the Fatalizer out, and there is a send, but it's only income here from Lucy. Drachir going full, though, with a mole.
Yeah, and I think that's going to do wonders.
I think
to be
Tjuvis
fair,
is...
income send only would chew through this.
Yeah, Tjuvis not looking great on wave 10 at all, and he's getting a
They're
fairly
choosing to
decent
save
send.
again.
Alright, let's see if it pays off.
I'm a little worried. I mean, we obviously have the full Berserker Fatalizer on Adams here, so he's and with the income send, he's looking like this is going to be fine.
Adams is more than fine, and Lucy, recognising the Fatalizer play is coming up, she doesn't even try to leak him, she just goes with income and king ups, which I think is a good call from her.
Yeah.
Maybe this is signs of life now for Tjuvis and Adams, depending on how badly Tjuvis does leak against this send.
Yeah, and I think Drach and Lucy also not only sending here, but expecting their own send not to come here with the boar and the gate being placed.
Very nice reads from those
So
players.
very heads up.
Tjuvis kills the mole, so the mole and the brute are both down. He is leaking a boss on 40% HP, so not ideal, but it's a Fiesta. He can take that. And now...
Yeah, Fatalizer's going to easily chew this up as well.
And now Tjuvis and Adams really do have the pressure advantage. They've got 270 on Adams, 200 on Tjuvis. Let's see when they want to send. The answer is 11.
It is right here.
We have counterattack from Tjuvis. Very good pairing, actually. Counterattack Fiesta. And Adams, let's see. I have to assume that he still wants that protector for his Azeria. He does. He doesn't have the Azeria yet, however. He could even go for a bit of a leak here himself, even with the Priestess online, because he's just really lacking in damage. But let's have a look. Tjuvis, his very low value, should go for a leak here, get his counterattack in. Lucy with 2 boars on the field, though. I don't really see her leaking here. And Drachir with the Protector Kingpin. I mean, he's looking very solid as well.
Yep, some fairly big sends here, 340 on both.
Let's see how quickly this Four Eyes can target down. The Lioness is already gone. The Alpha Male is soon to follow. And now the Kingpin finally is being targeted. Is it too late, though? Will it be able to snipe off the Four Eyes? It's now taking focus. But the Four Eyes wins that trade. The Kingpin is down. And the Gate Creeps, they're not living much longer. Lucy doing extremely well, though. Tjuvis, 42%. That's a great Fiesta. That's a great counterattack. Lucy full holds, and Drachir 47% leak against the massive send that he receives here on 11.
Yeah, that was a great hold by Lucy.
Adams does hold his own lane, but he won't be able to cover very much at all in the mid. Okay, 2 creeps is fine, but of course, Lucy, she's damn near full covering in the mid for Drachir's leak. And man, this game is pretty rough for Tjuvis at least. He's very far behind now.
Yeah, and I think looking at the roles, you know, Lucy's set up for the rest of this game, to be honest. I mean, the boars, the disciples, the steeds, You saw the power of the combo with the Disciple and the Boars in that last wave. The Witch with the spam, not nearly as effective when the spam gets half cut down by a charge of those Boars. Not quite as oppressive as it once was, but obviously still worked wonders for her there.
Yeah. And the Disciple Boar combo is just... It's really strong, right? Because you want to send, like, tank spam to waste the Starcaller shots, but you can't because the Boars delete it, and then you're just in a bit of an awkward position with what you want to send against a build like this.
Yeah, and the problem is it only gets stronger. It's very few weak waves.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So interesting to see where this goes next. Tjuvis, he is getting more counterattack value here and more Fiesta value, so looking pretty good, actually, I have to say.
Yeah, he's back up to a very, very respectable amount of Mythium saved up again here.
Yeah, he's leading the pack. He did get the counterattack on 11, the counterattack again on 12. Lucy starting to feel the pressure. She is 290 undervalue here on wave 13. But talking about undervalue, let's have a quick look over on the side of Tjuvis and Adams. Tjuvis is 400 undervalue and Adams is not far behind. Lucy on fire here. Only a 25 gold shutdown though, so the game is still pretty close.
Yeah, it really is, actually. Going from that early game with basically neither team taking any damage. The creeps reaching the boss for either side once so far this game, and doing a little tickle, but, you know, it's almost back to fully even. Neither team really taking anything significant so far. Tjuvis starting to gear up to actually holding waves now, which is cool.
I don't think he's going to repeat that feat on wave 14, however. So we see big sends come out from all 4 players here, and everybody is massively undervalued. What is it with wave 14, by the way? We seem to always get these mega sends on 14 lately.
Yeah, there has been a few. Drach being the closest to value of anyone here, but not with, you know, not with the most amazing units. He has a bit of a zoo going on there. But yeah, very big sends coming out from everyone.
Yeah. Tjuvis receiving the smallest send, but he's also the lowest value player, and that Ghost Knight is just very difficult for his Doomsday Cannon to chew through. It does just now go down, but the damage has been done. That's going to be a pretty big leak, I think, for Tjuvis. Adams, how are you doing? The Protector Azeria is now being overwhelmed. He only has a Millennium as well, no Doomsday, so that's a big leak. 115 for Adams, 84 for Tjuvis, 72 for Lucy, and Drachir, with that hardened Golem Protector Kingpin, he's doing the best. Baby 49% leak there for him. These guys are going to take massive king damage for Tjuvis and Adams. Drachir and Lucy, they're going to fare much better with a smaller leak and a nearly full upgraded king.
Yeah, they've got the king ups, they've got the smaller leaks. Great hold by Drach there. The power of value shining above any kind of combo.
A resend here from Tjuvis and Adams. I have to assume they're hopping some military-grade copium here on wave 15, because the only way this play works is if Drachir and Lucy both decide to shift their 800 gold. And, oh no, Lucy's spending some!
Some, but not all, you know? She's still got 550 there, she's clinging on to. Drach is thinking about putting down a gate.
She's spending more gold! No, this is illegal!
Oh, I can't believe it. People spending gold in my Legion TD games. Well, it's not my game, so it's understandable.
Drachir is shifting 600 gold, and Lucy is shifting 350. So let's see if these cheeky little resends get some work done. Be an interesting play if it does.
It really needs to. I think the resend otherwise, allowing both Drach and Lucy to push and choose any wave to send on. Yeah, Lucy's easily holding this.
Yeah, and Drachir, I mean, he's going to leak, but not terribly, and Lucy might even just cover it. Yeah, Lucy still has a ton of value alive in the mid. Drachir leaking 58%, but this Hail Mary play didn't achieve what it needed to. Imagine if they both shifted 800 gold, though.
Yeah, I mean, stranger things have happened.
They get some king damage done, and they go for another resend. Surely they don't expect the resend.
The problem is Drach and Lucy did not push nearly as heavily as I think Tjuvis and Adams are hoping for here.
Yeah, they're also
I don't,
spending their gold here on 16.
yeah, which is some kind of hack that a lot of us Legion players have not actually learned to do. So yeah, I mean we've got Lucy on plus 100 value here. She's got some good units for the wave. She's got some Yozes. She's got the disciples. It's looking a little bit ropey here now.
Tjuvis actually going for the post-income Kraken here. This really is a Hail Mary play, and I just don't think it's going to work, unfortunately, for the side of the Almighty Slackers.
Yeah, those Pyros chewing up the entire wave.
Yeah, Lucy's making wave 16 look easy. She still has half her units still alive, and Drachir, meanwhile, again, it might be a leak, but not a big one. And here comes the massive counter-attack now from Drachir and Lucy. They have a ton of Mythium stored up. Tjuvis and Adams do not have the value to hold this. They call GG. They don't even want to see the sends.
I don't blame them. You got to respect the hustle. It was, you know, it could easily have been a big brain play to push for the re there. You know, a little bit of rock, paper, scissors mentality. If Drach and Lucy pushed hard for a 16 send, it could easily have been punished, but no, they spent a little bit of gold. They held their 15 cents. And it was their game to lose from that point, really.
Yeah, I think respect for Tjuvis and Adams, like they know that they're behind and they have to go for a bit of a Hail Mary play, which they did. It didn't work, but you know, when you are far behind, you do have to go for low probability, high reward plays. They tried it, didn't pay off. Better luck next time.
Yeah, I think it's an understandable play. They tried what they could, and you know the early game, all the way through to that big 14 send was very even, very even. A lot more even than the first game that was obviously cleanly dominated by Lucy and Drach. So to hats off to them. They put in a good showing here.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just hoping they don't let this get into their own heads and start trying to play in ways that they're not comfortable with in this third game. I mean, we've seen what they can do with their Fiesta and their Chaos plays. So yeah, I hope they keep playing to their own strengths here.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I just want to see the almighty Slackers that we had in the semi-final, because those guys, it seems, were on another level to the Slackers that we have in the finals. But, you know, maybe they're just living up to their team name. They used up all of their effort in the semis, and now it's time to relax during the grand finals. But no, come on, guys. We want to see your fighting spirit come out for the grand finals. We have to see more than 3 games. Don't let the underdogs clean 3-0 this. Let's get at least a game number 4. But they're going to have to step it up, because Drachir and Lucy, they're not just going to hand it to them.
No, absolutely not. Obviously, with the Conquest format now, Drach and Lucy, a lot less options to them, having already got those 2 wins under their belt, so they'll be a little bit forced into what they're able to pick. No such limitations for Tjuvis and Adams, so they can do whatever the hell they like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if we do see a 3-0 here, if we see the underdogs win this last game, they will have played the entire tournament without dropping a game, which is an incredible feat. Very impressive.
Very solid, yeah.
So yeah, that would be great to see. Obviously, still rooting for Tjuvis and Adams here. I'm hoping they can pull one back.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm sure all of the Twitch viewers at home are cheering for Tjuvis and Adams as well. If not because they want them to win, but just because they want to see some more Legion content. So let's see if they can, with their tournament lies on the line, playing for match point now in game number 3, can Tjuvis and Adams at least win 1 game in the best of 5 series? But more importantly, what do they need to change? Like, I don't know. Game 1 in particular, they just felt outclassed. Drachir and Lucy absolutely destroyed that game. Game 2, Tjuvis had a bit of a rough one, but Adams played very well, and it was fairly close up until wave 14, and then obviously it kind of went downhill. But they need to mix things up a bit. They need to, I don't know, try something wild. Maybe just roll better, who knows? But they need to do something to get back into this series. And a clean sweep against players of the caliber of Drachir and Lucy is not an easy thing to achieve, but they're going to need to do it if they want to take the cup.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what I'm saying. I think I wouldn't want to see them mix things up too much, to be honest. I think Tjuvis's Fiesta, we've seen what it can do. Maybe he does simply need to roll better. He just needs to roll a better Fiesta or a more comfortable Fiesta open, or we just see them go back to the chaos on a dams. I think those two playstyles just work so well for them. But they may just opt to go for something a lot more vanilla for both of them here.
Yep.
We'll see.
Worth pointing out, by the way, with the Conquest format, Drachir and Lucy have both used Greed, they've both used Cartel, so they're going to be forced to mix it up a little bit now in this third game of the series. Tjuvis and the Dams, of course, they haven't won a game, so they still have all of their options available to them. And with that said, here's game number 3.
Yeah, I'm expecting Castle or Fiesta for Lucy. Yeah, there's Castle.
Castle for Lucy, Cash Out and Cartel for Tjuvis and Adams, and YOLO for Drachir. Excellent. Not an amazing YOLO roll, I have to say. Not the worst one I've seen, because I've seen some absolute stinkers in my time, believe you me. This one at least is playable, but it's very heavy on the pierce damage and the fortified armor. Lucy has a fairly nice roll there. She's got, I mean, she could go for a Sakura start if she wanted to. She has Angler as well. Tjuvis with his Cash Out. His roll's looking fine. Nothing particularly special there. While Adams, he has Steeds, he has Ocean Templar Gates. He's got a pretty solid roll for the late game, but is playing Cartel.
Yeah, Lucy opting for the Sakura with Castle. It's a really good pairing. You do have obviously a bit of a danger zone, a little bit of a pain point around wave 7 and 8, and potentially on 10, but she does have answers there. So yeah, I think she's geared up for a Castle play. I think this is the first Castle game we've seen today.
I think it is. Yeah, I think you're right. It might even be the first. No, it's not the first Castle. We had some Castle on stream yesterday, but it's definitely the first we've had today. So all 4 players going for their king ups here. Adams realizing he's being sent from a Sakura opener. He's going to push very hard. And interesting, actually, Tjuvis and Adams going for Cash Out and Cartel together. So both opting for those early game focused mastermind options.
Yeah, and with Sakura on the enemy team, you'd like to think they can both get away with a pretty heavy push here. Lucy forced into 3 workers still with the Castle Sakura.
Mm-hmm. And I think Adams is almost certainly going to go to 6 workers as soon as he can afford to. He only really needs to place the slime blob on wave 3 to be able to hold against the snail that Lucy can send.
Adams is snail checking Drachir, who did add a warg.
Yeah, so it's not going to pay off.
Yeah, he's looking strong still here, and this is great because he didn't really have any answers to wave 3, and now that's a little bit less pressure for that wave for him.
A half decent, like a 60 send on 3, could have been problematic for Drachir. He did have the Fire Archer, which is decent, but not ideal with his tanks. Alright, Drachir.
Yeah, who needs good units when you've got value, and that's what he has now.
He does. He surely does. Tjuvis can only send a snail here. Lucy knows it, so she's only adding 1 seedling here. If this was a DT, maybe? But against a snail, never.
Tjuvis with the full Hellraiser on 3. Tjuvis, my man Tjuvis, he loves some masks.
He surely does love some masks. Easily holding against this 40 send here. Presumably going to push to 7 workers and then shift for the Orchid on wave 5. Giving him the answers he needs to hold on 5 and 6. Is there any leak here? There was another snail sent by Adams, but Drachir easily deals with that.
Sure, Drach leading the pack in workers now. He's gone up to 7, so we've not actually seen the worker lead manifest so far with Tjuvis and Adams. Both opted to stay on 6 workers so far. Drach saving a tiny little bit more than everyone else.
Yeah. So a bit of a lead for Drachir. Interesting, with a roll that looks so weak early, he's actually leading the pack. He has re-rolled now, he's found Necromata, he's found Bazooka, so he now has some more mixed damage types and an Arcane tank, which is pretty useful.
Yeah, definitely. Bazooka, another unit that pairs very well with Boar in the later game.
Oh,
So he's set up very nicely for later now. A bit better than his original YOLO roll.
Tjuvis sent DT King up, and the Sakura lived with very little HP. I wonder, had that been a snail, would the Sakura have died?
Lucy's loving life now. Anytime you're a castle player with the most workers in a game at any point, I think you're already very happy with the game state.
Yeah, and she's achieved this already on wave 5. She also has that Sakura giving her bonus 15 value every single wave it survives. So, yeah, just everything stacking up nicely for Lucy. And Tjuvis and Adams, remember, this is match point for them here. They need to make something happen.
Yeah, they really do. So we see Tjuvis placing the Antler. He's not taking any risks here to shift for that Orchid.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you realise this, but the Antler, it actually costs the same amount as an Orchid. So, a bit of a decision.
Wait, does 200 gold equal 200 gold?
It does! It does!
British maths.
So, yeah, Tjuvis deciding for the Antler over the Orchid. Interesting one, because it's not like it makes him any better on wave 7. But, sure. And Adams now, with 10 workers, he is taking the lead back from Lucy. He has a decent amount of Mythium stored up, 130, 100 for Tjuvis, and I have to assume this is going to be a wave 7 send. We do have the Lizard Army coming out from Lucy. Will Adams and Tjuvis pull the trigger, or do they want to save a little bit longer? Very, very slow wave 6 here for Adams with his 460 value playing on the edge. In fact, I think he's going to Pro League. He is. Oh, this is interesting now. With Adams going for a very, very long wave 6, he will get to at least 180 Mythium, and there we see those friends on 7. Name a more dynamic duo. Triple Brute from Adams, Mole from Tjuvis. Drachir's going for a full send as well, but Lucy only sending that income into Adams. Let's see what happens. Drachir, he's on 800 value. He has a Necromata. It's not fully stacked. It's only got 6 there, so no healing for that kitty. And Lucy, she's not even boosting one of her veterans here.
Yeah. Will the power of the 0 gold buff be enough for Drachir?
I don't think it will. The send is massive. 200 here for him. 3 brutes walk into a lane. And 160 for Lucy. The mole presumably sent in case of veteran boost, but no veteran has been boosted on this glorious day. So her Sakura is definitely going down. That will be a leak for Lucy, and not a small one. And Drachir, oh, he just barely misses the brute there, leaving it on 3% HP. That's 83% leak for Drachir, 56 for Tjuvis, and 62 for Lucy as well. Adams, the player receiving income, he does leak as well, but not too badly. Although, having said that, the fact that the players leak here when they go for this big send, ideally one of them would have held, and then it would have been a massive win. But for now, still in favour of Tjuvis and Adams, but not quite as much as it could have been.
Yeah, for sure. They're happy with this. They've got the worker lead back. Things, fairly even across here, but Adams is making use of his cartel gold now.
Yeah, he's certainly pressing that early game advantage, and Tjuvis is doing a pretty good job of that as well. Though having said that, Lucy is for sure keeping up in income with the other players, and remember, she's playing Castle, so if this game goes too long, she might just pull ahead.
Yeah, I think if you're Lucy, you're super happy with how the game's going here still. It's like I said, that the wave 7 or the wave 8, wherever you're getting pressured into the most is typically one of your only 2 really dangerous spots with the Castle Sakura.
Yeah.
The next being 10, and she's already preparing for that with Daphne, so Yeah, she's looking pretty strong.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Adams and Tjuvis, they have a decent chunk of Mythium saved up. The workers are a lot lower in this game than they have been in the previous, with only Adams having 12 workers and Drachir even on 9. That's pretty bad for Wave 9.
Yeah, it really is. We've got the gate down for Adams. We've got a boosted Orchid for Tjuvis. He's pumping a little bit of gold into that. Neither player are looking particularly strong next. Tjuvis does have a Halo in his role, but other than that, I'm a little worried for them.
He's even spending 10 gold on boost. That's money he'll never see again. But Lucy did harden here, so she was expecting the Wave 9 send, perhaps. And let's see if that backfires on Wave 10. Not the biggest problem to have a de-hardened Mudman on 10, but it counts, you know?
It does, it does. Maybe all 4 players banking on the fact that there's Venture in the game, so who on earth would send them on 10?
Whoa.
But unfortunately, everyone is ignoring that mantra.
Wow, and the sends are pretty large. We've got Mimic from Drachir, Witch from Lucy, Ogre from Tjuvis, Imp, Mole, and some spam coming out from Adams. Adams, he's got 290 gold to play with. What is he going to build here? It looks like he's just going for a second gate, so the Witch should be pretty effective against that. And Tjuvis does get his Halo out. It does have the APS buff as well. He's got a nice little bridge here to waste time for the boss. It's going to have to draw a circle around the map before it ever reaches that Halo. Let's see. Lucy double boosts her veterans. She has 2 Daphnes and a Ranger, so that's pretty intense damage against the boss. Is it going to be enough? It looks like the answer is yes. That boss just dies very, very quickly. Sure, she loses a Sakura stack, but it's a full hold, and she's very happy with that. Meanwhile, Drachir, it looks like a leak, but not a bad one. Adams, meanwhile, 87%. So Tjuvis, he was able to hold with the Halo and the Mask Bridge, but Adams, he couldn't replicate that, and as a result, these guys are going to take some pretty big king damage here.
Yeah, that was a very nice hold by Tjuvis. Some expert positioning on those masks to really waste the maximum amount of time from the boss and result in a full hold. So that could have been a lot worse for him. Yeah, really, really nice stuff.
And now, Tjuvis and Adams, they were decently ahead after the Wave 7 play, but after the Wave 10, everything shifted back in favour of Drachir and Lucy. They have more King HP, they have a ton more income now that Lucy's Castle Power Spike is kicking in, and man, I'm feeling a little bit worried for the almighty Slackers. They're going to need to pull something out of the bag.
Yeah, when you're a castle player with any kind of economic boost spell, you're always happy coming into an even game post Wave 10, and it's not just even. She's way ahead. She's loving life.
And we have Venture from all 4 players, and Lucy ahead in workers, ahead in income, ahead in value. I mean, this girl is on fire.
So now the question is where the next send comes. Obviously, with Venture in the game, and probably all players realizing or making an educated guess that everyone is venturing. No one's looking particularly weak on 13.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 14 or longer. There could easily be some play to be had of going beyond 14. Obviously, knowing that the Venture Gold's going to kick in, and they can potentially gear in to be overvalue 13 and strong 14.
Tjuvis and Adams, they're expecting a Wave 12 undercut. It looks like we have boost here, and more to the point, Adams sold his Graal, which was in the Ocean Templar spot, in order to get this Hellgate on 12. So the pair are feeling a little bit worried about a Wave 12 undercut, but it doesn't come. And everybody's Venture paying off nicely in this game, it seems.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, that little bit of boost, not too much difference for them. The Ocean Templar gates are going to be strong from here on out.
Oh, even with the Hellgate, Adams is just on the verge of leaking no send. Okay, I guess they had a very good reason to be worried about a Wave 12 undercut then.
Yeah, I guess so.
Alright, now they can try and fix their lane with the Venture Gold, but nobody's spending their Mythium. Everybody's going a little bit longer here in this crucial game number 3. Drachir reading it very well. He actually adds a couple of great boars here on wave 13, garbage units on wave 13, but of course the send does not come here. Lucy, the only player in the game to be plus on recommended value. She's plus 75 there. Just the insane scaling that she has with that income, with the worker lead, with the value lead. And now we have another Twitch chat. You won't believe it, but I swear this is the truth. Another wave 14 send in this Nova Cup Grand Finals coming out from
possibly
Lucy.
could have seen it coming.
And Tjuvis and Adams, they save their Mythium. Well, this is really interesting now, guys, because, I mean, the sends are massive. Tjuvis and Adams are both comfortably undervalued, and they only have 51% king, so this is a big risk they're taking here. If this backfires, their tournament dreams end right here and now, and the underdogs take their very first Nova Cup victory. But if Tjuvis and Adams can survive against this send, which is looking like a tall order, but if they can, they're in a really good position in this game. So let's see what happens.
We do have 3 tantrumed Hellraisers for Tjuvis.
And
That
an
is
MPS.
a lot of deeps.
It surely is a lot of deeps. They are melting the wave, but he doesn't have very much tank value to back it up. Now we'll see his Mask Kite in action. Very beautiful there, keeping the slugs away from his real damage dealers for as long as possible. They do now start to go down. Tjuvis is doing very, very well, actually. Insanely well. He's going to kill everything apart from the Centaur and 2 low HP slugs. Adams does leak a bit more with that home run. Do they survive here? 50% king HP. Very few king upgrades. Oh, it's going to be close. Oh, I don't think it's enough. Oh, no, it was so close. But the underdogs, they win. Their very first ever Nova Cup Grand Final victory goes to Drachir and FC Lucy. Really well played today, guys. This was absolutely unreal. They made Tjuvis and Adams look easy.
Has there ever been a tournament run without a single dropped game? There may easily have been. I don't know. I don't have the stats, but very clean, very, very, very clean from.
Very clean indeed. I mean, this wave 7 looked pretty good for Tjuvis and Adams. Obviously, if Adams could have held, it would have been incredible. But it was looking pretty good for those guys. But then the wave 10 send, and like Lucy holds, Adams leaks massive. They take a ton of king damage there. And then everybody holding on until wave 14, where Lucy and Drachir let rip. Tjuvis did so well there, so well, but it just wasn't enough with Adams leaking 100%, and that spells the end of Tjuvis and Adams' tournament journey. So commiserations to those guys. They played very well to get here. We saw them play extremely well in the semi-finals, but man, Drachir and Lucy, it seems, are just on another level today.